Hello, my name is Gloria Gerd. I am the mother of makeup art. What does that mean? I paint beautiful pictures with makeup. I am also the traveling folk artist. Let me tell you where my travels took me. My travel took me to the Chesapeake Art Center in Anne Arundel County for the Reflections exhibit and program. Let me tell you what Reflections is. Reflections is the collaboration between Baltimore City Recreation Park seniors, the Chesapeake Art Center, and eighth grade students. Seniors wrote stories and poetry about their experiences with segregation and discrimination. And then eighth graders were inspired to make beautiful art. They did paintings and sculptures and wood burning. You all, it was just wonderful. And then they had a program where the seniors and children got together. You all, it was just a wonderful and touching experience.
My hope for the future. I went uptown on Saturdays with my grandparents. We went to shop. At 4 years old, I left that time with grandma and grandpop. It's just that we had to wait till all the white folk were done. And then we bought what we went for. I was a curious little one. At the movie, we sat up high. The white folk on the first floor, grandpa explaining skin color to me, chilling me to my core. But optimistically believing things would change, we'd all walk through the same doors. But grandpa's word resounded hope, not in my lifetime, but maybe in yours. This is how the young girl felt painting this picture, inspired by the poem, My Hope for the Future. My poem was about a little girl who couldn't go into a store because there were white people in it. She had to wait until they left to go in. I wanted to capture what it would be like to watch the girl waiting to go in the store. In the painting, you could see the girl is looking at a new toy in the window. She has the same toy, but it's very old and worn. I also wanted to show that even kids were affected by segregation. Myrtle Beach in the 1950s. Black people could not go in the water on Myrtle Beach unless they were taking care of white children. They could be maids in the hotel on the beaches, but black people could not stay there. We could go in the stores, but we could not try on the clothes. We would give our clothes at the store to the white man in charge, and he would bring them to us at home to try on. That was very nice of him. The situation has improved a lot now. We can go in the water at Myrtle Beach, stay in the hotels, and try on clothes in the stores. Dr. Martin Luther King truly helped people see how unfair it was to treat people so badly. This picture was painted by the art teacher, Myrtle Beach in the 1950s, and these are her words. So much has changed, and yet we still have further to go. When I read this recollection, I immediately thought of the dawn of a new day. I pictured the sun rising with the soft glow falling on the silhouetted figure, symbolizing the promise of change. As the writer states, the situation has improved a lot now, but we still have so much farther to go. On being black, how I remember walking back and forth 3 miles to school at the age of 5. It was fun. I had my 3 big sisters. They had me. The life was simple, fine, and free. The wintertime, yay, was especially memorable because the ground would freeze and crunch beneath our feet. We walked those many miles. I loved that sound. It made a melody. But as we walked, we couldn't help but notice the big yellow bus filled with white children headed off to school. They didn't get to hear that crackling sound. Too bad for them. Coming home in the late afternoon was less fun. It would be getting dark, low was the sun. A constant reminder that we were different, we were other, we were black. This is how the student felt painting this picture. When I read this poem, I could really feel what the author was trying to express. The child would walk to school and every day to see a bus full of white children heading off to school, but she couldn't, is what stood out to me the most. I tried to recreate that memory in my painting by showing a little girl being different. The memory, the National Guard camped out in the park, people looting left and right, past curfew time, men with guns and dressed to kill stood close down, people running and hiding, children wanting to go outside, but it was not safe where they lived. They never regained what was lost. The town would never be the same. This is how the child felt doing this artwork. For my wood burning, I quoted the poem I selected to show a deeper meaning to the piece. I chose to burn the quotes in cursive to catch the eyes of the viewer. I also added a swing set because the poem talks about children wanting to play, and when I think of children playing, I think of swinging with my cousins in the backyard. This is another poem. The Black Zone. My whole life was black. I was sheltered and protected in a black world. I was not allowed to venture outside the black comfort zone. I knew very little of what was on the other side of the black zone, but I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to go outside of the zone, but was denied each time, each school. Guess what? There were schools in the black zone. The black zone expanded. Regimentation of time and tasks were removed. Freedom felt good. Unrestricted freedom felt even better. I went crazy. No wonder black life had yokes. Somebody needed to stop me. I just didn't realize it was going to be me becoming an adult. I wrote this poem, An Ugly Feeling. There's a feeling that I wish no one would feel. It's so unappealing. In fact, it's sickening. There's a feeling that I wish would stop coming anyone's way, but it doesn't seem to stop, no matter what I say. There's a feeling that I can't believe anyone feels because of their race. I thought this feeling would long ago been erased. Folks still feel the pain of discrimination, but they also feel the joy of winning, achieving, and surviving. I chose the poem, An Ugly Feeling. When I first read my poem, I felt very sad, but then I read the ending and I felt empowered and strong. I felt like I should be proud of my lineage, and I wanted to express that in this art piece. I chose to do a sculpture because I felt that this poem conveyed an emotion that is too big to be flat. This poem needs to be represented in the best possible light, which happened to be in a sculpture. This is how this student felt when she read An Ugly Feeling. Segregation's labor. I was a married woman. I was pregnant with the third of 8. The doors of the hospital once open to me were now closed, perhaps sealing my fate. One hospital claimed to need the space for problem pregnancies of others. Another hospital claimed it served the indigent and unwed mothers. Another hospital said the ward and delivery room were not near, too far apart were they. We cannot serve you here. But fate is determination unroused, unmoved, sometimes unplanned. I had my child at a hospital recommendation from a white man. This is how the student felt. I made the baby the only thing in color for my piece because I wanted to represent how the world wasn't accepting of color. By making the background a black and white cityscape, I contrast the main focus so to create this look that the outside world, the city, wasn't integrated and they didn't want color. The woman in the poem was not let into hospitals even though she was going into labor because she was black. The baby represents how the struggle by women of color to be able to raise happy and healthy babies was extremely important in these times. This represents how the world went against African American people in history. Always believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself. Express yourself. Work on yourself. Be proud of yourself. Have faith and understanding and love in oneself. Look for a successful personality and duplicate it. It will help you be your best self. Just be yourself. This is how the student felt. When I read this poem, it made me feel good because I know that things like this really help me start feeling good about myself. And I really need some help in that department. For my piece, I chose a picture of Stevie Nicks for my background picture. I chose her because she is my idol and I can really relate to her music and art. She always stayed true to herself no matter what anybody said about her. This is really inspiring and I felt as if it really went with the poem and the theme. I still remember going to the hat company at 6 years old. I wondered why black people had to go to the basement and could not use the front door. My godmother, Miss Melody, was the manager there. She was light-skinned. She came to the door with a dress, and my grandmother was going to buy it for me for Easter. I couldn't try the dress on. I felt bad because I couldn't go through the front door. My grandmother took me to Lexington Market to buy me ice cream because I was so upset. The student felt. I chose this poem because I enjoyed the message it portrayed. This poem explains segregation at its worst. I highlighted the dress by using vibrant watercolors. I used magazine clippings for my background to show that we are all equal, and I used words that describe the dress. Lastly, I chose a picture of ice cream because that is what she got after the incident. King. King, an inspiring word. King, a powerful word. How I love the sound. It gives me a feeling of being loved and protected. We need to understand how life's lessons are perfected. I know a man whose name was King. So many called him Martin. Some called him by another name, one so foul it makes me shame. But to me, I will call him fearless, masterful, mysterious, peaceful, a leader of men. I will call him Reverend Martin Luther King. This is how the student felt. My piece was based off the poem King. The words King, an inspiring word. King, a powerful word, inspired me as well to create my piece. Using colors to represent this personality like purple for his wisdom and yellow for his warmth and compassion. I use imprints so we can all remember the legacy he left, shaping us today and what's to come. His legacy will forever be remembered in history and the future to come. This is another poem. Memories. I remember every Sunday morning, my grandma and grandpa would pick me and my sisters and brothers up and take us to church. And when I go back to visit my hometown, I always go back to the church where my grandma and grandpa took me, which is still standing today. Bethel AME is where my mother and my grandmother were members until their deaths, and where I was also baptized. I will always love my grandma and grandpa. Thank you, ancestors. Day after day, I thought without your strength, courage, determination, and sacrifice, I wouldn't be passing this way. Time after time, I've been so proud to be part of a race of people that are so strong and its history so rich. I'm so glad that the people and the history are mine. Year after year, I have celebrated all the accomplishments and contributions of people who fought and died so that my life and your life could be better. So on this special day, in this special year, I would like to say thank you, ancestors. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your determination. And thank you for your faith, because it has made my world a better place. I wrote that poem to thank my ancestors for their struggles and for surviving and for making my world a better place.